I still remember the first time I saw Leo. It was a late summer afternoon, the kind that smelled of ripe mangoes and freshly cut grass. The countryside where I grew up was quiet, filled with winding dirt roads, golden fields, and the hum of cicadas that sang from the trees. I was 21 then, still trying to figure out where life would lead me. But the moment Leo walked into our small village cafe, everything I thought I knew about love began to change. He was visiting from the city tall, with messy brown hair and eyes that seemed to notice everything. He asked me for directions to the old mill down by the river. I told him, but he didn't seem to be in a rush to leave. Instead, he sat down, ordered tea, and asked if he could join me. That afternoon turned into an evening, the sky painting itself in shades of orange and pink while we talked about everything and nothing: books, music, dreams, and the beauty of small places that the world forgets. That's how it started, quietly, unexpectedly, like rain after a long dry season. Leo stayed in the countryside longer than he planned. He was an architect, he said, working on a project to restore some of the old village houses. Every morning, he'd come by the cafe, sometimes with blueprints in his hands, sometimes with wildflowers he picked from the hills. We'd sit by the window, talking as if time itself had stopped for us. I worked there part-time, and my friends would tease me whenever Leo walked in. "Your city boy's here again," they'd whisper. But I didn't care. By autumn, we were inseparable. We'd walk by the river, skipping stones and talking about the future. He told me that in the city, people were always rushing, no one had time to just breathe. "Here," he said once, looking around the fields glowing gold under the sun, "it feels like the world still remembers how to be kind." That was the first time he held my hand. When winter came, Leo had to return to the city. His project was complete, and I tried to be happy for him, but when he left, it felt like the world lost its color. We called every night at first. I'd sit on my bed, wrapped in a blanket, listening to his voice through the soft crackle of the phone. He'd tell me about his work, the noise of the city, how much he missed the quiet of the countryside and me. But as months passed, the calls became shorter. Sometimes he'd fall asleep before we could talk. Sometimes I'd cry silently after hanging up, wondering if love could really survive the distance. Then one day in early spring, he surprised me. I was helping my father fix the fence when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned, and there he was, standing there with a shy smile and a bouquet of daisies. "I couldn't stay away," he said simply. That was the day I realized I wanted to spend my life with him. Not every year was easy. Love, I learned, isn't always made of sunsets and laughter. There were arguments, doubts, and moments when we almost walked away. He wanted me to move to the city, I wanted him to stay in the countryside. We both dreamed of a life together but couldn't agree on where that life should be. "I can't leave everything I know," I told him once, tears burning my eyes. "And I can't abandon everything I've built," he said softly. There were nights when we didn't speak at all. But even in silence, I could feel him, like the moon that hides behind clouds but never truly disappears. One evening, during a thunderstorm, I found him waiting outside my house, drenched and shivering. "I don't care where we live," he said, his voice breaking. "I just care that we live together." I laughed through my tears and pulled him into my arms. The rain poured around us, but at that moment, it felt like the whole sky was blessing us. Leo found a compromise. He started a small design studio in the countryside. It wasn't easy, but slowly people began to notice his work. I quit my cafe job and helped him manage things. We'd spend our mornings planning, our afternoons working side by side, and our evenings walking through the meadows, talking about our dreams. One night, lying under a blanket of stars, he turned to me and whispered, "You know what's funny? I used to design houses. But with you, I'm building a home." I'll never forget that line. That year, everything seemed to fall into place. His business was growing, my little flower garden was flourishing, and we'd found our rhythm, two hearts beating to the same quiet music. One evening in late autumn, Leo said he wanted to take me somewhere. We rode his old motorbike up to the hill where we first watched the sunset years ago. The air was cool, filled with the scent of pine and wild lavender. He stopped the bike, turned to me, and smiled. "Do you remember this place?" "Of course," I said. "It's where you told me you believed in forever." He took my hands. "Then maybe it's time I prove it." He got down on one knee, his voice trembling as he said, "Anna, will you marry me?" The world blurred. All I could see was him, the man who had been my best friend, my home, my everything. "Yes," I whispered, tears streaming down my cheeks. 1,000 times yes. We spent months preparing, not for a grand celebration, but for something that felt like us, simple, heartfelt, surrounded by nature. The ceremony was held in the meadow behind my family's old house, where the grass danced in the breeze and the sky stretched endlessly above. The morning of the wedding, I woke up to birdsong and sunlight spilling through my window. My mother brushed my hair as I stared at my reflection, the same girl who once doubted if love could last the distance. Now, that girl was about to marry the man who had crossed every storm to stand beside her. When I stepped outside, everyone was already gathered, family, friends, neighbors. The air was warm with laughter and the sweet scent of flowers. But when I saw Leo waiting at the altar, everything else faded away. He wore a simple beige suit, his hair a little messy, his eyes shining like the first day I met him. As I walked toward him, my heart raced. Every step felt like a memory: the cafe, the phone calls, the arguments, the rain, the promises. They all led to this moment. When I reached him, he took my hand. "You're even more beautiful than the first time I saw you," he whispered. "And you're still late," I teased, laughing through my tears. Everyone chuckled softly, but for me, the world had gone silent. The vows we spoke were simple but true. "I promise to love you," he said, "through every sunrise and storm. To build with you, to dream with you, to stand beside you, always." "And I promise," I replied, "to be your home no matter where life takes us. To believe in us, even when the world feels unsure." When we kissed, the countryside came alive, the wind swirled through the fields, birds flew overhead, and it felt as if nature itself was celebrating with us. That night, under a sky full of stars, we danced barefoot on the grass. Music drifted through the air, soft and sweet, and I leaned my head on his shoulder. "We made it," I whispered. He smiled, kissing my forehead. 6 years, he said. "And forever to go." It's been 3 years since that day. We still live in the same countryside, in a small house Leo built with his own hands. Every morning, I wake up to the sound of him making coffee, humming the same tune he used to hum when he was nervous. Our garden has grown wild and beautiful, just like our love. Sometimes we argue, sometimes we sit in silence, but there's always a quiet certainty between us, that no matter what happens, we'll find our way back to each other. When I look at him now, I don't just see the man I fell in love with. I see every version of him, the stranger who walked into the cafe, the dreamer who stayed, the fighter who refused to let go. And I know deep in my heart that love, real love, isn't about grand gestures or perfect moments. It's about choosing each other, again and again, even when life tries to pull you apart. As I write this, the sun is setting beyond the hills, painting the sky in gold and crimson. Leo is outside, fixing the fence again, just like the day he came back to me all those years ago. I smile, watching him, my heart full. 6 years of love brought us here. A lifetime of love will keep us going. And in this quiet countryside, where every sunrise feels like a promise, I know we are home.